First on the mic. My girl, Christina,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Amazing. Thank you so much.
You know, I like to be first because then I can actually focus on my question and not get totally distracted. I can't. It's hard for me to focus. This is why I always sat in my front row. So thank you.
Good. Smart.
All right. So, let me post I'm posting on Instagram right now your wonderful trailer. I got the email for the 2-minute drill, so I'm posting it right now because it's
Nike's
2 o'clock. Following instructions.
Super cool. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then, so a couple of months ago, I asked you kind of a common theme, or I asked you a question. Basically, like your answer was like all entrepreneurs or most entrepreneurs, the common theme is self-worth, and that like everybody struggles with that. So that was incredibly helpful because it normalized me feeling that way. So that was helpful for me. So, and also focusing on that and feeling better in that space as well. So what would you say, or what would you have found during the 2-minute drill this go around? Is there another commonality that you've seen that can be helpful for growth within sales or entrepreneurship?
Wow, you're making me search my memory banks for the commonality. It's preparation is the, and it's more technical than it was the energy of, the worth. It's just, some people were more prepared than others, and you could tell who was prepared and who wasn't. And, I use the example of, if I'm not ready to be at a level of just clapping, so I want to have a comfort level of what I do that is equal to, Dave, can you come on the private coaching group and clap for everyone? Well, I wouldn't be nervous. I would do it proficiently. And I want to reach that level of confidence with everything I do.
I like that. Yes, and I like how you said that without nervousness, because I still get excited. Like I think I have an excited energy about. Yeah. I hope I am like, and I think that sometimes it can go into nervousness. But yeah, I like how you said that. So thank you.
Good question.
Thank
you.
Be
prepared. Thank you. All right, Nikki Barr is next. Let's see if the video comes on. Nick, you there? Unmute yourself. Get the camera going. Or are you just logging in and listening? I think you may just be logging in. Oh, whoa. There he is.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I just signed up today, actually. I talked to you about an hour ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he's actually coming on. Well, welcome to the group.
Thank you.
Good. Well, you have a question for me, or what can I help you with?
I didn't even mean to click it, but all right. So anyway, I have a small insurance agency. I sell mostly truck insurance. So the reason I joined is I want to get ideas, basically how to be more efficient. I take care of my kid during the day. She's 2 years old.
Yep.
So that takes a lot of time. So I'm just trying to be more efficient and then grow my business. Like this year, I grew a lot compared to last year. Yeah. So I'm just looking to try to grow even more.
Let me help you just with time. So what I want you to do is your first piece of homework for the group. A lot of people already are doing this, is you need to study your calendar. So I want you to give me a minimum of 10 minutes a day, probably before you go to sleep, and then 10 minutes a day when you wake up. And I want you to study 3 things. I don't want you to look at your calendar. I literally want you to study it. I want you to open up everything in it. I want you to think about how you can be more productive, how you be more accessible, meaning how accessible you are to your clients and your family, but also how are you accessing what you want, and gracious. I want you to look for the lesson in everything. How can I get better at it? What's going to happen is if you pay attention and give attention to the activities you have planned during the day, and because you're taking care of your child, the activities you don't have planned during the day, you're going to find all this productivity, accessibility, and gratitude in your day. And if you find productivity, accessibility, and gratitude in your day, you'll be able to monetize that exponentially. It'll aggregate and compound on itself. Probably from where you're at, I would say that you have about 16 hours of productivity that you can get out of each day right now just by being efficient, effective, and statistically successful with your time by studying it. And so you're going to have a very swift impact about, oh, now that I'm studying what time for nap, what time this happens, when I'm studying all this free time or what I can be doing to prospect in person on the phone via email and social media, how things overlap, all these different things will raise your awareness that are there right now, but you're just not aware of it. But when you start focusing in on it, you'll gain a great awareness to how much time you actually have.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You got it, Nick.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It'll help. Perfect. All right, Zach. Welcome, by the way. Zach, you're up, my friend.
Dave, good to be back, man.
Great to have you.
So I'm looking into launching a SaaS business for health and fitness.
Yep.
And we're in the initial stages right now where I'm proving out proof of concept and really getting the MVP going. So I was curious, like, since you've done this so many times, when you're launching a new venture, what do you look for to differentiate yourself from the competition and ensure success from day one?
Yeah. So one, I make myself equal to, right? I make myself equal to the competition. Then I ask the community what they like about it and what they don't like about it. Then I go ahead and address what they don't like about it. And I create the differentiators with the things that people don't like. And so, you know, having that community, you've been involved in the space for a long time, you should be surveying, you know, what exists today to make yourself equal and then make yourself better by addressing what people don't like about what they're doing today.
Gotcha. That makes a ton of sense. Once you make yourself better, do you just continue to double down on those differentiators that were like gaps in the marketplace, or how do you continue to expand from there?
Well, for me, I like to build a community based upon 5 criteria. So one, the credibility means a lot to people. So you have credibility in the space because of your experience, maybe the user interface, you know, some other aspects of the app that you've learned that gives it credibility. 2, the emotional attachment that people have to it. So that could be coloring, marketing, a variety of things that, you know, you might address, you know, a certain health issue that's very prominent today and emotional today. Then being able to quantify how you're the same and quantify the difference.
Yep.
Show the impact, which is huge in the wellness and fitness arena. So be able to illustrate the impact that it has by, you know, case studies, trials, testimonials, etc. And then go ahead and support the community with features and benefits. So you're really focused in on the community itself, and the bigger the community, the greater the opportunity, especially in a SaaS solution.
Yeah, Dave, that was super helpful, man. And I love the phrasing of community rather than market. I think that's something I always get switched up in my head. So I think when you think about a community, it's much more powerful.
Yeah, and it's more frequency based, right? Your community, you guys all, and never before in history have you been able to illustrate community so well, although it has created separateness because there's, you know, 2 different realities that go on in politics. There's 2 different realities that are going on in education. There's 2 different realities that are going in finance right now. Like literally, people just can't even see because of frequency the other reality. You know what I mean? And so I think that's a great lesson. It's how and why my brand has been just accelerating over the last year. Is I figured out, you know, just to speak to my frequency, because the audience is so big, you can build a community by just sticking to your own frequency and not worrying about, you know, pleasing everyone or addressing everyone.
Yeah, dude, Dave, that's huge. Thank you very much, man.
You got it. Thanks, Zach.
Have a great day.
You got it. Thank you. All right, Mario. I think we got, like, look at the names there. We got like the old school mafia. Nick, Zach, and Mario. Don't mess with us, man. Don't mess with Dave Meltzer. I'll send over Nick, Zach, and Mario. They're gonna take care of you if you don't pay me.
Well, I'll tell you, Zach can be the enforcer with those traps, man. He's looking
Yeah,
jacked
those are
today
some big
more than
ass
ever.
traps. I'll take that.
He's looking good.
Call it the app, right? It could just be the trap app. That's what we'll call it.
All right, Dave, as always, thank you so much for your leadership and especially for taking my questions. So I have 2 questions today, so let me get them in. So first, I started a Facebook group in coaching, delivering value to people, and I invited people closest to me and some people that I'm working with and doing business with. And now it's a private group. I haven't opened it up to everybody, and this is something that I'm doing for free. Now, you did mention something in the past saying, you know, if people are paying for something, they'll appreciate it. But there's also, as new people join, you kind of, you know, you have something where you can kind of quantify the value of it and you start charging for it. So it's a 2-part so it's actually 3 questions there, or 2.5 questions. So the question would be is, you know, do I open up the group to the public and try and solicit people to come in, and B, of that question, at what point do I know that, for new people coming in, maybe start charging something so that at least I know they're appreciating and going to come on every week, kind of thing, like I do with you, for example?
Perceived value. So when you reach a point where other people's perceived value or your perceived value has a certain quantitative amount that you can clearly articulate that's greater than what you're asking for, then you should be asking for it.
Okay.
And so remember, there's only two prices I ever concern myself with: perceived value, which is indicated by what I think or other people think, and then bottom line, which is what I'm willing to do it for. So if my bottom line's free, then my model will consist of having some sort of freemium option, a trial, or a guarantee. If the perceived value is $50 a month, $100 a month, $1,000 a month, determinative upon what I think or others think, then that's what I'm going to ask for.
Okay, because it's for me. I'm more than happy doing it free and not
Right.
charging anything. But as you said, as people coming in, if they're paying for it, they're probably going to take it a little bit more seriously. Do you think there's a certain point when I open it up to the general public and start selling and start soliciting services?
For me, it's as soon as possible, right? If you're providing value, then it should be available to everyone, right? So
Okay.
when you feel comfortable that you're bringing value and it's worth everyone's time, and then you should be inviting everyone and providing that value, whether you're charging or not.
Okay, that's perfect. And then one last question on the 5 daily questions: the what, your who, your now, your how, and your why. Do you do that for basically the theme for the day, or is that because obviously you have many tasks to go through the day? How many of those of your target tasks of the day do you apply these 5 principles to, or is
Well,
it just one general?
I really only apply the 4th step to my daily activities. So when I start off with knowing my what, it's what do I want experientially, personally, giving and receiving. Then I say, okay, who can help me or who can I help? So know my who. Then I'm a student of my calendar by knowing my how: productivity, accessibility, and gratitude, like I was talking about earlier, within the context of what I have planned, I don't have planned in my sleep. Now, once I am set for the day on my what, my who, and my how, now's where you formulate the importance or prioritization. Most people, they don't reach the stage of prioritization. Most people's problem is they don't get stuff done, and they don't know where to start, and they feel stuck, and they don't know how to prioritize, or they do some things, but they're out of order, and that's because they haven't taken the time to figure out their what, the who, and the how. See, once you reach the now stage, now I usually take whatever's activity I planned and I prioritize that, because obviously if it's planned, it should have priority over something that's not planned. Right? Just common sense should tell you that. So I go ahead and prioritize from the how stage into the now stage, saying, okay, I know what I want, who can help me, who I can help, and how I'm going to do it by the activity I planned. I don't have planned in my sleep. Now I'm going to prioritize what I have planned. And I go ahead and I prioritize those, and I get at least 5 things done a day, and I make sure that a minimum I get 5 things done. Now, I've been doing this for 16 years, so usually not only do I get everything done in my planned, but I'm also checking off unplanned to be productive, accessible, and gracious as well. And so it's exponential in its effect on my life, and it keeps aggregating upon itself. So more efficient, more effective, and more statistically successful. But that stage of now is the crucial stage when you bring in the actual pragmatic list of what you're actually going to do.
All right. That's better. It's a much better understanding. All right. That sounds great. Thank you as usual.
Thank you, Mario. Take care.
Thank you. All right. You too.
Cool. Ghinwa. Oh,
hi, Dave. How are you?
I did. Ghinwa. I got it right.
You got it right. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to do this. What a great way to connect and help and give like some advice. So I really appreciate that. I need your help with like 2 things. They're kind of related. The first thing is I'm in the process right now of pivoting my services from management consulting to business coaching. So how would I get more clarity on exactly what type of offer that I need, and I can add more value to my client?
Yeah, so I think number one, let's get away from defining the role. So you can call what you do whatever you want to do. One-on-one coaching, mentoring, business advisory, business consulting, consulting management services. Those titles can be switched, changed, and utilized according to the alignment or perspective of your potential clients. Certain clients are going to want a certain type of service, so you can name it whatever you want. I think what's more important is that you have to do a little bit of homework on what value you can bring that you can articulate and quantify to a client. So within the context of whatever title or definition you want to give your pivot, you want to make sure that you're pivoting towards the different amount of time that you may spend, or a different type of service value, solution, expertise, relationship capital, situational knowledge that you're going to bring to those things. So for me, whether I define it or not, most of the things I do are for free, right? I have search engines, trainings, lives, Q&As of the day, ask me anythings. A smaller portion is for these groups that I have in order to effectuate one-on-one intimate answers that are helpful for everyone. Then I have what I just call one-on-one coaching, where I utilize the services that I have in a different context. I'm on call 7 days a week. I work with someone as a business advisor. So some people call me their business advisor. Some people call me their consultant. Some people call me their coach. Some people call me their mentor. It's all the same program with the same services, 7 days a week. Then we have a scheduled call every other week. Then I have business advisory, a consulting business, and I only can handle 5 clients. So Gulf Oil, Wall Street Journal, Senate Jex, big clients, Eros, that I do, very heavy lifting, but they're all based off of the services I provide. And I've gotten very clear over the years of what I'm going to provide and what I charge, because I can quantify and articulate the quantification of those services and the values that I render.
Okay, that's great. So another question, if it's okay with you.
Yeah.
I think I got the type of focus that I want to do. I know this is where I can add value. This is in line with my skills and everything else. But for whatever reason, I sometimes feel that I don't have the drive or energy to keep me going. So I'm not sure what exactly broken here.
Yeah. So this is a more common issue. So first of all, we need to distinguish between motivation and inspiration. Motivation gets you up, gets you started, gets you back up, gets you restarted. Where you're having difficulty is being and staying inspired, getting you there. And the reason is the paradigm shift that you have to make is not that you have to go and get inspired or get motivated or get to what you want to do. You need to figure out what's interfering between you and what you already are, right? You already are connected to and through that great, powerful source of energy, light, and love and lessons. And so you need to figure out what you're doing to interfere. Is it your nutrition? Is it your exercise? Is it your mindset? Is it your heart set? Is it your time management? You want to start focusing in on what am I doing to interfere with the inspiration, instead of how do I get inspired? You trust me, you're already connected to it. And you're doing certain things like everyone else that are causing void shortages, obstacles, resistance to what you already are and what you already are connected to and through. And when we start shifting the paradigm and perspective to which areas do we need to work on that are interfering with what we already are, healthy, wealthy, worthy, happy, that's when we look or appear to others to be consistently inspired, being able to get things done more efficiently and effectively, happy and motivated and in pursuit. And it's all because you start knocking off all the things that are getting in your way, and you start realizing who's walking with you, what's walking inside of you, and what power you truly have. You won't diminish your own capacity to make others feel good around you. You may have the wrong people, the wrong ideas around you. There's a variety of things that are interfering with that in-spirit inspiration. And so what I want you to do for your homework for the week is just utilize this week to identify things that feel as if they make you sluggish, or things that interfere with that great, powerful feeling when you're in flow or connected through that powerful source. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, it sounds fair. So I shouldn't really take it then as a sign of not being sure or having doubts, right? Okay, so this is really good because I really like what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, no.
I don't get it.
Doubts
Okay.
are the interference. That's when you got to stop and focus in on your what, your who, your how, and your now. The doubts are when we're not clear, balanced, and focused. It has nothing to do with you doing the right or the wrong thing.
Okay, awesome. Thanks a lot. That was really great help. Have a great day.
Thanks, Ghinwa. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
All righty, Bonnie.
Hello.
Hello.
So I had the opportunity to do a pitch last night on, it's called Baby Shark Tank on Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, I'm losing sound. There we go. I didn't win, but that's okay. But it made me think about the fact that the more interested than interesting, and it was really on the fly. Like I had like 10 minutes to prep or something. Made me think about like I said, being more interested than interesting and knowing who you're pitching to. Because none of the people up there had like any interest really in what I was doing or what I'm trying to do. And didn't really have any questions. So just going by like how they were, engaging the other people that competed and the questions they were asking them, and then ultimately like who won. So I guess I just wanted to state that, but also was wondering if you had any tips on like when you don't have time to prepare and you're not, it's kind of on the fly like that. What is there something more specific like from my pitch that I should be focusing, like certain parts, I guess I'm trying to say, because I told a little bit of my story. I had to cut a lot out because I only had 75 seconds, but I tried to focus on the parts that were me, that showed the perseverance, showed what I was doing, showed a little like my revenue and about my clients returning and whatnot, told the story about the little boy and how I was going to help him and what basically the business was.
Yeah. So look, in 75 seconds, you need to articulate the quantitative value of what you do to exceed what you're asking for. Within the context of the quantitative articulation is the credibility that you have. So how long you've been doing, how much money you make, etc. The emotional attachment, what it'll do for your son. Then, as quickly as you can, articulate the reasons, impacts, and capabilities that you have to equate to a greater amount of money than what you're asking for, with the greatest amount of certainty that you can. And if you can do that, you can turn any audience, and you should have that down regardless of preparation. The 60-second, the 90-second, the 120-second pitch, so that if you run into anyone in person, on the phone, via email or media, that you're always prepared to say, hey, I was born, 6 kids in a single mom, blah, 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 blah. I now do this. I'm asking for this. Can you see any reason you won't want to move forward?
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That's something I'm going to work on then, having, because everybody asks for a different time frame, and it seems like different people are looking for different things. But when you put it that way, that makes a lot more sense.
Cool.
And the other question I had an interesting conversation with Evan Carmichael last night. He does his live streams, and I was asking questions. And we started talking about like profit margins with what I do with my t-shirts, and how am I going to feasibly scale in order to like hire employees, to pay for this, pay for that. And he pointed out a couple things that I guess I didn't see before, which one being my profit margin, and I wasn't including necessarily like overhead, like electricity and that kind of stuff in there. Though it's minimal, but I know it needs to be included. But like my hourly rate ends up being like $12 an hour, which wasn't horrible for a long time because it was more than I was used to making, but it's not enough to hire an employee basically. So I'm wondering, and he was then talking about that, and then he was talking about making higher priced, like more luxury posh items to sell at a higher profit margin, and how can I do that? And I have some ideas about things. So I was just wondering what your thoughts about that are. For me, having 2 separate sets of like product types, and they would be 2 separate target audiences and all that, because right now I just started targeting small businesses and organizations with basically what ends up being branded workwear.
Yep. So I like 3 levels always, right? Low, medium, and high. And you can include all of them because it gives you an opportunity to upsell or to downsell whatever has stimulated the interest in getting that person engaged with the business for an opportunity. So I would have low level, mid, and high. Obviously the margins will increase as the levels increase, but I would have all 3.
Okay, that was simple enough.
Yeah, and I love that. I love the exercise of figuring out what you make per hour. Keep that in your arsenal for everyone out there. Too many people get so busy working they forget to make money. So I've been coaching with Evan to help the quantification instead of the subjective overselling, back end selling that occurs a lot of times within the own context of what we do to ourselves. We lie to ourselves because we're so busy and so many sales, but I can't tell you. I bought a media company one time, and at the end of the year, I realized that I made 20% for referring out the business. I now had taken on millions of dollars of overhead and employees, so I could make 12% of my money. That made no sense. So I sold back the business and went back to making the 20% instead of the 12. So you got to constantly look at that math. Don't get so busy working that you forget to make money. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Because I know in the beginning I wasn't making hardly anything because it took me so damn long just to make one T-shirt, and I've really just upped that by getting better at what I do.
Right, but you were making investment in yourself, and
right.
starting from zero. Everyone has to do that as well. So you nailed it.
All right, thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
You got it. Talk to you soon. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. All right, Mr. Quaid.
Hey, David, how's it going?
Awesome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us. This is awesome.
Cool.
All right, so main question here is, how do you keep people inspired, or how do you kind of keep people on your level of progress? Right now, I got a buddy that I'm trying to enter a business partnership with. It's just up in the air. We're actually having a Zoom call tonight to kind of talk about some details and whatnot. But the guys that I currently work with, it's just hard to keep them to like the ambition level that I'm going at, and I don't know really what to do about that.
Well, number one, we got to make sure our values are aligned. 2, we have to keep articulating, what they want out of the business and what they're willing to invest in the business, meaning time, emotion, value, money, etc. And so I think, having a review process that a lot of times we grow apart because we're not communicating and we're not having the necessary alignment meetings to determine the value alignment as well as the effort alignment. And so you need to put into and facilitate having effort alignment and value alignment to allow people to, those that feed to get fed, those that don't to fall off, and those who are bleeding you to get fired.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's not going to go away. I always say if you have a value alignment or effort
yeah, I think that's the problem, sadly, and I think I'm just fighting it and I'm trying to drag it on, but I don't think we're on the same page, and I think it's going to end, sadly.
Yeah, it just ends worse. So just allow it to fall away or fire it. I have several different businesses, and the way that I approached it, I said, hey, look, I need to know if this is a lifestyle business for you or if this is a ride or die business. Is this, I must be what I can be. And of course, everybody usually initially will tell you it's must be what I can be business, but now you're holding them to that litmus test so that, a week goes by and say, hey, if this is a must be what you can be, why aren't you showing up to this? Why is there no sales? Why is there no this? Why didn't you do this? If it's a lifestyle business, let me know. I'm fine with it, right? We'll adjust accordingly and allow you to have a lifestyle position at the business, but this is a must be what I can be business for me. Another week goes by, and pretty soon that person falls away, or you can fire them because it comes indicative that they're lying to themselves because of the activity or action that they're taking.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I think that pretty much.
Don't be afraid of the truth. The truth will always come out. Don't be afraid of it. Okay.
Yeah. Right on. All right. Thanks a lot, David. Take care.
You got it, Quaid. Take care. Thanks. All right, Mr. Chef Marshall, what's going on?
Hi, David. How are you?
I'm good, man. Good to see your smiling face.
You too. I got a question. Can you talk about more about the whole no utilizing no?
Yeah. So there's two ways to utilize no. One is, as you're like, for example, trying to publish a book or sell a TV show or do something like that, you're going to get so many no's. And I have what I call the 25 no rule because it makes it easy, because most things will happen before you get to 25 no's. There's some things that won't, but at least in my mind, I always tell myself that it could take up to 25 no's to get this done, so that when I get to 10 no's, instead of being discouraged, I'm more excited. When I get to 20 no's, I get super excited. And I just play with my own perception by changing the reality, knowing from experience, when I'm raising money or selling a TV show or writing a book, that, it takes about 25 no's to get to where I want to be usually. And
got it.
That way I'm getting more and more excited by the no's. And then it also allows me to focus in on the most valuable part of a no, which is what lesson did I learn, right? How am I going to get better, from this no? Okay, I learned this because I asked, a lot of people just will accept no. I don't. I always say, hey, I want to learn from this. What was it about the project you didn't like? What did you like? What didn't you like? What could I have done better? Is it time, emotion, or value that I'm missing on? Help me understand. And so, that's one perspective. Then the other no rule applies to just follow up, because that's different than selling something, right? So, if you're trying to write a book or sell it to a publisher, you're not going to, I don't want you quitting after 3 no's. But on follow up, when people tell you, hey, I'll let you have an answer on Thursday, and then you call them Thursday and they, don't answer, that's 1 no. And then when you call back again, if they say, okay, call me Saturday, and then you end up having a flat tire and you not get there Saturday, that's another no. I call them universal no's. They don't actually have to be no's. And then if, something else happens on the 3rd follow-up, I call it the 3 no rule. What I usually do is say, hey, I really appreciate the opportunity. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to focus and prioritize other opportunities that are moving forward. If you'd like to move forward now, please give me a call back. If not, let me know when you are ready and give me a call then. 50% of the time, I've expedited the sales cycle and they follow up with me. So, they were gonna say yes anyway, but they've expedited it because I utilized a compelling event as a priority. And then the other 50% to me is more valuable than accelerating a yes. And that's accelerating the no, meaning they never call me back. And I think about, because of my obsessive compulsive nature, how much time, emotion, value, and money I've wasted trying to follow up with people thinking they've, I got a need to be offended. They told me to call them back, and I'm calling 100 times during the year. Hey, it's Dave Meltzer again. I can't tell you when I was young how many of these dumb messages I left. Hey, this is Dave Meltzer again. But and I'm thinking I just wasted all this opportunity because it takes 1,000 times the effort to re-engineer one of those people than it does to find one open mind.
You mentioned the lesson, like where are the lessons? And you said with time, emotion, and value. Now, have you asked, like, what has been someone's response when you're getting a no's and you ask, is it time, emotion, or value? What am I missing? If I heard you right, is that correct?
Yeah.
I mean, how do they respond to that?
I don't ask specifically, is it time, emotion, or value? I ask them, hey, I want to get better at what I do. What did you like about what I'm doing? What didn't you like about it? And then I can figure out whether it's time, value, or emotion when I ask them what they like and don't like about it.
Understood.
It also gives me an opportunity to address something that they may have heard that is incorrect, right? So they may say, oh, I didn't like the fact that it, only comes in blue. And I'm like, oh, no. It doesn't only come in blue. It actually comes in every color but blue. And I'm telling you, people have gotten things that wrong and not gone forward or moved forward because they didn't hear what I was saying.
Understood. Awesome.
All right, brother. Thank you. Keep smiling.
All right. Yeah, you too. Take care.
Right on. All right, here's my girl, Laurie.
Oh my goodness gracious. I knew you were going to make me cry today. I knew it. Thankfully, I didn't put on any mascara. Everything that you just said. So I'm learning how to be this and not this, right? Articulate. So And I just realized, I get really nervous because I care. That's why I get so nervous, because
Sure.
I really care about you. And so I want to thank you so very much, because it is true. And I can be your biggest supporter. Like, I asked you a question, right? I had a tough day yesterday, and I sent you, I needed something, right? And you, like, it was literally under 5 minutes, and you sent me a referral. Like, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Like, that really means the most to me, because you're right. Like, if you ask, like, you deliver. Like, and I'm learning how to be worthy. And that's something else that you were bringing up. And then, see, I'm going to start crying. So let's just focus. Is that also what I just really realized is that, like, it's not about asking questions in this group. It's about the energy exchange. That's so powerful. And I'm just learning so very much just from being a part of this. It's not, it's not like that. Do this, do that. It's such a powerful energy exchange. And you are allowing me to put myself outside of my comfort zone and feel worthy. And so I just want to say thank you for that. Before I get to, there was a question. I do have my notes because I am learning. So just in the sense of you saying about, like, lowering your expectations, I feel like that kind of aligns with, hopefully it does, if I make sense right now. I'm just, I'm feeling, which is a new thing for me, right? Instead of always thinking, I'm starting to learn how to feel, and you're helping me with that. So
yeah, lowering the bar, lowering your expectations allow you to get started. Nothing happens without movement or the ability to get started. Right? We paralyze ourselves by creating too much of an obstacle for ourselves, or too much of a mission. If I told you, all right, you gotta get into shape, Laurie, go run a marathon, you'd be like, go F yourself, right?
How do you know that's my language?
Yeah, if I told you, hey, I'm gonna teach you how to run a marathon today, you gotta go put your running shoes on and then send me a picture of you in your running shoes, you'd say no problem.
Absolutely.
And I'd build up from there until you would have no problem when I said, okay, Laurie, you're going to run 26.2 miles today. You'd say no problem.
1,000%. 1,000%. And, like, just if I may, just one real quick, because I just really, I just need to solidify this for myself. And I know I'm talking and I'm not being more interesting, or I'm not being more interested than interesting. I love all of your things, but what I really realized is that I'm on my inspiration journey right now. Like, I'm very inspired. I'm not very motivated, but because I'm in that, I actually just called it my backpacking through Europe phase. Like, I always wanted to do that after college.
Yeah.
Right? But I met my ex-husband in college. He's older, but whatever. And so, like, now that's my phase, right? Is like giving myself a break and learning to do that. And I will be quiet now, but I just need you to, this is for me, not for you. I'm not blowing sunshine. I don't do that. I think you probably can tell. Is just that how much you've impacted my life. I thank you so greatly, because you're proud of me, and I'm learning how to be proud of me, and you're helping me do that. So I thank you greatly, and I'm done speaking.
Thank you for being part of the collective consciousness. You're an important part of our group, and I think it's important for people to acknowledge their advancement and the way they feel. So I appreciate you being open. I know Christina's somewhere crying herself listening to you. So thank you for sharing.
We're all aligned. We're all aligned. And surrounding ourselves with people that are aligned with us is the most powerful thing. And that's what this is. And that's what you have created.
Awesome.
So I thank you greatly.
I thank you. You're doing great. Thank you.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye. She's great. Don't make me cry. All right, Nick. I know you won't make me cry. What's up?
I'll try not to. David, great to see you. Missed the last few meetings, so I've been bummed, but I'm glad to be back. I've got a comment and a sales slump question for you. Yep. So the comment, there's been a couple of times today you've been talking about inspiration, and I know lately, being in the consulting world, I've been struggling with finding some inspiration. But one thing, when I get on here, that I realize is that I'm always inspired listening to you talk to everyone, and all the advice and the just the love that you share. It's always inspirational. So I really look forward to just listening and watching you in action, and want to thank you for that. So thanks for all the inspiration. The sales slump question. So I'm consulting with a small, it's an IT managed services company in Southern California, about 30 people, provide a great service. And last year during COVID, had actually a really good year, really solid year with the sales and marketing engine that we built. Going into this year, had some really big goals, but we've been struggling, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. My thing is we're not getting enough at bats, but the company's been around for like 17, 18 years. And the other challenging concern is the company's gotten really narrow on the type of clients that they'll accept. So we are getting at bats, but they're turning things down and like, no, that's not a good opportunity. It's not a good. So we keep kind of going, okay, go on to the next one, go on to the next one. And the challenge that I'm running into right now is the principal owner of the company is wanting to kind of analyze what we're doing wrong with the sales process. And I'm like, we're not getting enough at bats, and we're not accepting the stuff that is coming in. We're not accepting it. So for you and your sales experience, I'm trying to help him, but it's always kind of like, no, we need to look at the process. And I'm like, well, we had the same process last year, and we had a really good year during a really tough year. So what's changed? And the one thing that's changed is what we'll accept and what we won't accept. And so I just, from your perspective, just from pure sales, when you're in a slump, and I don't even really know if it's a slump because we are getting opportunities, but the narrowness of what they'll accept, what advice would you give this principal owner saying, hey, we are getting some opportunities, we're just saying no to them? Would you open it up to say, hey, we got to accept something, we got to sell something to somebody? What advice would you give him?
Yeah, well, number one, I'd ask him why that he's narrowed the solution that he's selling. So to understand those critical business issues, then you can address maybe figuring out the resources necessary to broaden the opportunities, gathering data of what opportunities they are turning away so that you can maximize or prioritize, saying, look, if we just opened up solution B, there was 12 leads last month for solution B that we turned away. So those are the first conversation. The second conversation is, if we are only going to stick to the narrow solution that you'd like to stick to for whatever reason he gives you because it's valid, then we need to adjust the pipeline so that we are very focused on managing the expectations of the pipeline, in person, on the phone, via email, media, traditional, social media, that this is what we do and we're the experts of doing this, specifically this. And then you should be creating channel partnerships to get a revenue. One of my most popular videos is this finder's fee video I put out there, my overlap agreement. If you're going to turn away business, it's applicable to the media company I bought, right? I had so many people, because I was successful at building my brand in the media realm, they're like, can you do that for me? And I was like, no, but use the company that I outsourced to, and they paid me 20% for sending the business. Then I brought them so much business, they didn't have enough money to scale. So I bought the business from them and scaled the business with all these employees and overhead to find out I make 12%. Well, one of the other things that you can say is, look, let's find a referral partner. If we're going to turn away the business, let's monetize it. We're paying for the leads anyway, and it may be more profitable than actually doing the work because other people may be efficient at it. So number one, ask why this narrowed. Two, if he wants to keep it narrow, then find a partner that you can monetize and narrow the expectations on the pipeline so that you're only bringing in leads in that respect if you can't. And from there, I think you'll find there's a lot of revenue to be had. But right now, you don't even know why he's narrowing it. So you got to get to the critical business issues so you can be a consultant and give them good advice.
Awesome. That's great. If I could, just one quick last comment, because I was just thinking about it. You made a comment, and I think you might have said it before, but this is the first time I've heard it, talking about the must be what it can be versus the lifestyle. And I consult with small businesses, and I have struggled Because like you said, they'll tell me, no, I want hyper growth. We're going to grow this thing and scale. I'm like, okay, great. So I start gearing towards that. And then, but their day-to-day actions are lifestyle. And I've been struggling with how to deal with that. So I don't know if anybody else is, but that really helped focus. It kind of brought that into light and really helped focus to define it and then help them understand and consult to which one it is that I'm dealing with. That was really helpful. So thanks for sharing that.
You got it. That's a good way to decipher and to help other people get alignment with the truth, because people will tell you, it's like kids in sports. I'm giving 100%. No, nobody gives 100%. But are you doing your best? Are you learning something and having fun? Right. That's what I want to talk about. Are you doing your best, and where can you do better? In fact, I instituted in my company on Mondays, we each go around and talk about where we can do better. So I can codify that and quantify. All right, if you're telling me that you can do better at this, then let's see you do better. Or are you just blowing smoke up my ass, just like someone telling you that they are a must be what I can be person, but instead they have a lifestyle attitude.
Right. Absolutely. It's so helpful. Thanks so much, David. I appreciate it. Great seeing you.
Good seeing you. Come back. Thanks.
I will. Take care.
All right. Patrick Williams is in the house. Patrick Henry. Matt someday will get this right, but he may not be here because not only is he a Dodger fan, but he keeps putting up the wrong people. Patrick, you looking for a job?
I don't know if I can. Yes, I'm always looking for a job. You know me, but I don't know if I can do what Matt does. I mean, he's pretty.
Oh, trust me. If you have a pulse, you can do what Matt does. I promise you.
How are you, David? It's great to see you.
I miss you, buddy. What's going on? Just so everyone knows, I'm not picking on Matt or Patrick. These guys are friends, so this is just our normal banter. All right, go ahead.
Absolutely. So first off, just wanted to thank you as always for the connections that you've brought to my life. I just got, I work for the mask company, and we just made masks for Sean Walchef for his Cali barbecue. So that's super fun, and I appreciate that. Yeah. As well. Okay, so I had a couple ways I was going to go with my question. I'll go with the first one I have written. So I'm a business guy. I've worked for 20 years in different things, but I also kind of have a creative person's, I'd say, temperament. And I think how that manifests is sometimes I can have a little too much energy that I don't know what to do with. And then sometimes I'm a little bit lower on energy. So as someone that is currently in sales where I'm at now and trying to, sell masks or whatever I'm selling next, do you have any advice for, I guess, staying connected to, not coming off as too much or not coming off as too reserved, if that is how I sometimes naturally am, depending on the season, and still like being that level of like professional and that's going to be welcoming to everyone?
Yeah, you got to create a baseline of energy for yourself. And then when you're not at that baseline of energy, high or low, you need to stop. Put yourself back to that energy before you move any direction or forward or towards your what, your who, your how, your now, and your why. So what happens is most people, they're just at the whim of the natural flow of biomechanics, bioenergy in their own self perspective. So we end up snowballing or scaling in the wrong direction because we don't have a point of reference. Let me give you an example. If you have a point of reference, you can go from San Diego to Maine. And I know you're in San Diego at night, seeing 3 feet in front of you. If you don't have a point of reference, God knows where you'll end up. Mexico, Canada, who knows? But you need to have a point of reference. With emotions, energy and motion, you need to have a baseline or a point of reference. The same way as if you were driving a car. With our emotions, we can only see 3 feet in front of you, right? We don't know how we're going to feel tomorrow, but we probably know how we're going to feel for the next 30 minutes. And so if that emotion is too low, stop. Just like if you lost your point of reference when you were driving from San Diego to Maine, you're not going to go accelerate when you're lost, right? Oh shit, yeah. I lost, or if you're in a boat looking at a lighthouse, you're not going to accelerate if you lose sight of the lighthouse. Your lighthouse is your baseline of energy. You need to wake up in the morning. That's why meditation is so important. My unwinding routine is so important, is find your baseline. You're going to find that you'll be able to plateau and grow instead of swimming, floating, driving, flying all over the place and wondering why you have these ups and downs and ups and downs. I promise you, if you know where you want to be and you stop when you're not there, you'll just keep elevating and escalating your awareness, your vibration, and you'll be able to achieve so much more, make more money, help more people, have more fun, and just be happy.
I love it. Amazing answer. If I have another question, should I wait for next week or should I shoot now?
Bring it on, brother.
Okay. So I'm in an industry that may be ephemeral or time limited. You know, masks are hot last year. Masks are sort of hot this year. I don't know if they'll be hot next year. If you were in my position, how would you go about directing your attention in something that is hot now, but might not be hot in 3 months?
Well, lean in, make hay when you can, when the sun's shining, brother. Lean into it. And then look for the next opportunity that is either synergistic, supplementary, or aligned with what you're doing. The same way the mask business evolved from something that was synergistic, supplementary, or aligned with what they were doing. Look for the next thing that's aligned there, but lean in. It's just like when the real estate market's hot, you got to sell when things are overbought and buy when things are oversold. So go ahead. Do it, lean in, but look for the future, what's going to be doing well next that's synergistic, supplementary, aligned to your skills, knowledge, and your desire.
I love it. Thank you very much.
You got it, brother. Call me anytime.
All right.
Good to see you. All right. Last but not least, the first letter of the alphabet. Amy, welcome.
It's me. I didn't realize that I was actually going to make it onto the camera. Hi.
Hi.
I feel like my question is very similar to Patrick's, as you have probably gathered from my panicked messages to you. I'm doing too much stuff. I have this e-commerce that I love. It's not paying the bills. So I need to take care of myself. But I'm looking for a job, which is a full-time job. I'm looking for copywriting clients, which is also a full-time job. I started something else with a friend, which is getting neglected, and I'm feeling bad about that. And I kind of feel like I should maybe take out my passion for a bit and kind of put it on the shelf and take care of myself. But it doesn't feed me. I'm all over the place, and
yeah. This is probably the most common thing that happens. So it's called the big O, little C, big opportunities, little capability. And so what I would do is change your perspective. I call it applying your why, right? So just like with food, you can learn to love anything. And if you take your time to learn to love something, you're much better off than just going with what you love. If you take your time to learn how to love things, to find the light in them, to find the love, the lessons in them. And so when you're taking care of yourself, I would find and take one opportunity that's going to pay you the most. And I would apply your why. I would learn to love it. And I would make as much as you can, which is going to provide you two things: time and more opportunity. With that one thing that you're focused in on, the one opportunity that would pay you most, that you've applied your why to, you then can go ahead and apply that to a secondary, a side hustle, whether it's with your pen, what you're passionate about. And then what happens is, because you have enough resources, you then have enough capitalization, you have enough time and opportunity that side hustle can overtake the original economic situation. And now you're stuck making more money doing what you naturally love, figuring out what to do with what you applied your why to, either handing it off to someone else, making a commission, letting it die, whatever. If you focus in on something that's not going to create time and opportunity for you, you're never going to have enough time or opportunity to make any of them successful. You're always going to be swirling and lost, wondering why there's shortages, voids, and obstacles. You need to be all in at first with what pays you the most. Learn how to apply your why, create the time and opportunity to take care of the other options in your life, which may fulfill you more, but learn how to be fulfilled with, as Viktor Frankl says, man's search for meaning. You give meaning to everything you see. I used to hate to take the trash out. I learned to love to take the trash out because of what it means to me. You can do the same thing. You might as well do it. Take care of yourself. The more you have, the more you can give. The more you have, the more opportunity you have. The more you have, the more time you have. All of those things will allow you to make more money, help more people, have more fun, and it really will make you fulfilled, passionate, purposeful, and profitable.
I love it. Okay. I can do that.
You can apply your why, Amy. Thank you so much. Welcome to the group. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. What a great hour of power it is. As always, Articulate Alligator for Laurie. We love you. Amy, Nick, the Mafia, Matt, with your terrible Dodger hat. Somebody help that kid. Maybe Patrick Henry. He'll find the way. His name, certainly. Mikey, keep leading us. Mikey is the CEO of my company, along with Colleen, the president. Those guys are killing it. Absolutely, for young executives, doing a great job. Anyway, be kind to your future self. Do good deeds. I will see you tomorrow. Thanks.